The Hormuz Pronali, more widely known as the Strait of Hormuz, is one of the most strategically important waterways in the world and has been central to global business, trade, and political power struggles for centuries, serving as a critical choke point where the Persian Gulf meets the Gulf of Oman and eventually the Arabian Sea and Indian Ocean. And because of its unique geographical position, the strait has become synonymous with the movement of petroleum, natural gas, and other essential commodities that fuel the global economy, making it not only a maritime passage but a lifeline for international trade and business. Geographically, the strait is approximately 33 kilometers, 21 miles wide at its narrowest point, yet the actual shipping lanes are only about 2 miles wide in each direction with a 2-mile buffer, which means that despite its small size, it accommodates the passage of some of the largest crude oil tankers and liquefied natural gas carriers in the world, thereby concentrating immense economic activity within a very fragile and politically volatile maritime corridor. And this in turn gives Hormuz Pronali a dual identity. On the one hand, it is a natural geographical formation, and on the other it is a man-made symbol of the interconnectedness and vulnerability of global trade. In terms of working activities, the strait functions first and foremost as the primary artery for energy exports from the Middle East, with roughly 20 to 30% of the world's total petroleum supply transiting the passage each year, translating into millions of barrels of crude oil per day flowing mainly from countries like Saudi Arabia, Iraq, the United Arab Emirates, Kuwait, Qatar, and above all Iran. And these exports are destined for energy-hungry markets in Asia, Europe, and North America, meaning that any disruption in the strait has immediate ripple effects on oil prices, stock markets, shipping insurance premiums, and even national security policies across the globe. Beyond oil, the strait is also vital for the transport of liquefied natural gas, LNG. With Qatar, one of the largest exporters of LNG worldwide, relying almost exclusively on the Strait of Hormuz to deliver its energy supplies to markets such as Japan, South Korea, China, and India, which highlights how the strait underpins not only the petroleum economy but also the natural gas economy that is increasingly important in the global shift toward cleaner energy. And thus in business terms, the Hormuz Pronali is not merely a geographic location but a transactional zone where massive amounts of capital, contracts, and commercial dependencies converge every day. Historically, the strait has also played an important role as a trade route in the pre-modern era when merchants, sailors, and empires used the waters to transport spices, textiles, pearls, and other valuable goods from the Indian subcontinent and East Asia toward the Middle East and Europe, making it part of the ancient maritime Silk Road. And the legacies of that history remain today in the form of bustling ports like Bandar Abbas in Iran, Muscat in Oman, and Dubai in the UAE, all of which rely on the flows that pass through Hormuz for their own business models, whether in re-exports, shipping services, or port management. When examining the working activities of the Hormuz Pronali today, one must also consider the vast infrastructure that supports its function as a trade artery, including modern oil terminals, offshore platforms, underwater pipelines, ports, refineries, shipping services, bunkering stations, maritime insurance offices, and an elaborate network of naval patrols and monitoring systems operated not only by littoral states such as Iran, Oman, and the UAE, but also by external powers such as the United States, the United Kingdom, France, and increasingly China, all of whom have vested interests in ensuring freedom of navigation while simultaneously using the strait as a pressure point in broader geopolitical negotiations. Indeed, business in the strait is not just about oil exports but also about the enormous shipping industry that supports the movement of crude, refined products, LNG, and other goods, because companies involved in shipbuilding, ship management, logistics, maritime insurance, and port services all derive significant revenue from the continual flow of vessels through Hormuz, while disruptions such as tensions between Iran and Western powers, piracy, or regional conflicts immediately alter the calculus for these businesses, forcing them to adjust routes, raise prices, or seek alternative strategies. In the realm of global trade finance, Hormuz functions almost like a barometer of risk, because when tensions rise, insurers raise premiums, shipping companies demand higher freight rates, and energy traders adjust futures contracts to hedge against possible shortages, thereby creating an entire secondary economy of risk management around the passage itself, which means that its working activity is not confined to physical ships crossing the water but also extends into the financial markets of London, New York, Singapore, and Tokyo, where derivatives, hedges, and contracts tied